A warm good evening to one and all present here. Today, we, the Coimbatore chapter of Computer Society of India, welcome you all for a webinar on UI and UX design for career development. And today, the session is going to be handled by a student cum practitioner, Ms. Harshini Purushothaman from KGISL Institute of Technology. Now, I invite Ms. Kavi Sri, a third-year BECSC student of KGISL Institute of Technology, to welcome the gathering and introduce the guest speaker. Ms. Kavya.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I extend a warm welcome to all the office bearers and members of the Computer Society of India, Coimbatore chapter. We are truly honored by your presence. A very special welcome to all the participants who have joined us today for this online webinar session. Your presence and enthusiasm are what make this event valuable and engaging. It is also my privilege to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speaker of the day, whose expertise and insights we are all eager to hear. We are grateful for your time and look forward to your session. Thank you once again to everyone for being here. Let us look forward to an enriching and insightful webinar. It is now a pleasure to introduce our speaker of the day, Ms. Harshini Purushothaman. Harshini is currently a third-year student of BE Computer Science and Engineering at KGISL Institute of Technology. Despite being a student, she has already made remarkable strides, a passionate software engineer and front-end developer with hands-on experience in UI and UX design. She has crafted clean, intuitive, and responsive interfaces for several projects and startup platforms. Her skill set spans HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and design thinking. Tools she has used to build solutions in areas such as smart city management, food delivery systems, and AI-driven applications. Harshini is also an active participant in hackathons and ideathons, where she consistently brings innovative user-centric ideas to life. We are excited to have her share her knowledge and experiences with us today. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Harshini Purushothaman.
Thank you, Kavya.
Thank you, sir.
Now it's time to hear from our guest speaker. Now I invite Ms. Harshini Purushothaman to take over. Harshini.
Thank you so much for that generous introduction. I'm really excited to be here today and share my journey and insights into UI and UX design. Let's dive right in.
Yes.
So UI, user interface, and UX, user experience. UI UX has come a long way. It all started in the 1940s during the World War II, which with a flow on human machine interaction. By the 1960s and 1970s, with the concept of user interfaces only, the mouses were actually found. In 1980s, Apple brought GUIs, basically what we call graphical user interfaces, to the public, and Don Norman coined the term as user experience. So 1990s brought us web design, and along with that, 2000s saw a shift to mobile, especially after the iPhone and companies began investing in UX teams. Tools like Figma and design thinking became mainstream. And now we are designing AI, voice assistants, AR, VR, and accessibility tools. From desktops to small devices, UI and UX continues to shape how we experience the digital world. So now, UI and UX, being the heart of the digital environment, plays a critical role in how we interact with the technology and every single day. Whether booking a cab, ordering food, or scrolling through social media like Instagram and Facebook, or using through social fitness apps, what keeps us engaged isn't just the functionality of the applications, but also how it makes us feel. A great UI makes an app visually appealing, while great UX ensures it's simple and seamless and satisfying application uses. UX actually focuses on how the product works and how the users feel while using it. With some questions, explains the UX of the application. Is the app really easy to navigate for the user? Is the process smooth or confusing for the user? Can the user use the application without any frustration? And the answers, what we are going to answer using our designs, is what the application's journey is. So let's see what UI is. So user interface is what the user sees on the screen and interacts with it. Example like buttons, icons, colors, font, layouts, and animations we create. So it can be both graphical and it can be normal. So it is based on the applications what we are creating, and it is based on the purpose of the applications what we are creating. A well-designed UI actually makes an application look beautiful, look modern, and it keeps us engaged in it. So comparing UI and UX, UI and UX should work together. They create powerful and memorable digital experience. So for example, we have many applications similar to each other, but only an application with a better UI and UX compared to others is used in the highest level. Before jumping into tools like Figma, Adobe, and designers of what we use today, let me just give you a basic of UI and give you all the basic of UI and UX. So the first step the UI and UX designer goes through is sketching. So we call sketching the foundation of design. So sketching is nothing but a rough hand-drawn sketches. So we can call it scribblings also, but here only the scribblings are the first step to create a beautiful design and an application. Whether you're brainstorming alone or with a team, sketching brings everyone on the same page early in the process. If you are doing sketching along with your team, the team actually understands what the project is going to be created. So it's what says you can visualize the ideas quickly, communicate what the leader or the content creator is actually thinking of creating. It's what communicating the concept means to, and exploring multiple designs and solutions. So while doing a sketching on the paper and when it's rough, there can be many opportunities for ideas to be welcomed in. And with that, we can create more better applications at a very early stage, and there is no stop at the grown stages. Sketches are usually hand-drawn. We can also call them blueprints before a digital wireframe. So after sketching, the next biggest step in UI UX is wireframing. So wireframing is the process where we build fidelity drawings. There are two types of fidelity, where high fidelity and low fidelity are the types. So low fidelity is where basic structure of the page or an app screen is drawn. So high fidelity is where it is drawn in shapes and it is given names such as icons, logos, and the content boxes, everything. So here in that high fidelity, we actually locate the elements where it has to be placed. So that is what it means, defining placement of the elements. So defining placements of the elements in the very early stage is very important, because in the further stages, there is no position changes in the application and there are only suitable element choosing in the applications. So, and also high fidelity shows user flow. User flow is nothing but how the user is going to travel along with the application, how the user is going to travel along with the journey of the application, what the user is going to click, and where the application is going to navigate after the user's click. So in that high fidelity and low fidelity, there will be arrow marks called prototypes, which will let the users know after clicking a button where the element should navigate or to which page should the element navigate. So if there is any change in the earlier stage, it is easy for the designers to create it. And next, focusing on the functionality before aesthetics. Wireframes are essential in aligning the team's vision before UI and UX design begins. So where the team's vision is very important, the team will have a separate idea for keeping a logo at a specific place. So wireframing helps everyone to brainstorm, sit and discuss, and come to a conclusion where everything has to be placed. So after the process of wireframing, we have to create a application using the tools with the UI UX tools. So there are many popular UI UX tools like Sketch, Figma, Adobe XD, InVision, Balsamic, and UserTesting.com. So each UI UX tool is specifically specialized for its each and every features. For example, Sketch is a tool designed for its vector-based design, whereas Figma is very much collaborative interface design. And Figma is the main designing tool suggested even in Google companies working nowadays. Figma has also got an option of inviting friends inside, so it can be worked as a team together. And InVision, it gives us interactive mockups where we can give trials of how the interaction of the applications will be. For example, even in Figma, we have got an application where we can look at the prototype with the arrow marks. We can just have a preview. We'll be clicking the buttons and placeholders, and we can see how the placeholders or the buttons react. So Balsamic is a quick wireframing tool. So wireframing, as we saw, we used to draw high fidelity and low fidelity drawings. So wireframing is very important, and there are many tools specifically used for wireframings also. UserTesting.com is usability testing. So usability testing is a concept used where the UX team researches about the user's need for using an application. So basically talking about UI and UX, the main first thing an UI UX designer has to do is the UX. The UX where the research work of the application starts. So research work actually starts from checking whether there is any similar websites according to our website. So the work of an UX developer, the first work is to check for a research work of the website, research work for a similar website analysis. If there is any similar website, we have to check what are the features they have added, what is the UI of that website, what is the UX of that website, and how far users like that website's UI and UX, and how our application's UI and UX can be better than that of the found application. And second one is the user's feedback directly. So user's feedback is a very important thing in UI and UX, because only with the user's feedback an application is created beautifully, and mainly it is usable for the users. User feedback can be collected in many different ways. Like you can use Google Forms, what we use regularly. Otherwise, we can collect directly from the users. We can create forums where we can call a group of users. We can make them sit. We can get insights from the users and develop our applications. And sending forms to the applications for the application users, as I said, it is Google Forms and many types of forms like Bitly and everything. So according to this only, the UX designer actually plans the users of the application, how the application's journey should be, what all should be the features in the application, the scope of the application, and everything is designed by the UX researcher only in this researching phase. And after that research, the UX researcher also decides the color of the websites. So being professional, the application should contain only maximum 4 colors and minimum of 3 colors. There is a color rule called 60, 30, and 10 rule, where 60% color should be the basic color, 20% should be the little more basic one, and the 10% should be the text and the outline colors. And font sizes, there are also limitations for choosing font and font sizes by the UX researcher, where only 2 fonts should be chosen, and font sizes should be decided only twice, one for the heading and another for the normal text. And the button positioning, as I said, it is done while wireframing, and all these are done by the UX researcher. UX researcher is a separate work form, but still having UI and UX together is better for getting a job opportunity. So sketching is also the work of UX design. So as I said, sketching is nothing but a rough drawing through hands. Rough drawing and also showing it to the team, and this is done by the UX researcher with the help of user Google Forms and the interviews which they conduct during the analysis session. And in wireframes, they also decide the theme, how the thing should be decided, and everything, how it should work. We can call it as design theme, where the theme of the application, if it is an educational website, an educational based theme is chosen, whereas for a medical website, medical based application is chosen. And each and every color chosen for the application must go along with the theme. And this is a very basic rule in creating UI and UX. If you have to become a very good UI and UX designer and developer, please be clear with all the color theory and the font theory which you are going to use, because these are the basic looks which are going to be created to the user. UI is what attracts the users towards the application, and UX is how the UX researcher checks for the usability of the application and what he creates for the users to use, and how the user feels to use the applications. And coming to the next one, there are many AI tools for UI and UX. So AI is a common term which we hear all around the world. So there are also AI tools used for UI UX also. There had been a question during the registration whether AI will be taking over the job of UI and UX designers like other jobs are going on. But don't be afraid. AI is not going to rule over UI and UX, because UI and UX is basically creativity, and creativity is a special character of the human beings. So UI and UX is not going to be taken by the AI, but AI tools can help them work quicker and also better. So AI tools like User, Figma AI, Chroma, Attention Insights, Runway ML, ChatGPT, Jasper AI, or Copy AI. So these AIs are used for specific functions. So as per the slide, UIzer converts sketches and text prompts into wireframes and mockups instantly. So using UIzer, we do not sit for hours in making a wireframe with low fidelity or high fidelity. Within minutes, the text or thing what we give, the prompt we give, can be converted into wireframes and mockups for the application. So Figma AI. So as I said, Figma is a widely used tool by topmost companies now. It uses plugins like Genius or Magician to suggest designs, content, and layout fixes. Basically, with Figma, there are many inbuilt templates which help the users take the templates and just edit the templates accordingly. So with that, we can create easy designs. And Chroma AI-based color palette. So as I said, color theory is very much important in creating an UI and UX application. Chroma is a color-based palette generator, which helps us choose our colors and the theory according to the 60, 30, and 10 rule perfectly. So Attention Insight predicts the user attention areas to optimize layout and CTA placement. So along with the user's experience research conducted by the UX researcher, if we are giving that research paper to such an AI like Attention Insight, it will create us what an user needs for the application. It will predict where the user's attention areas are. For example, Attention Insights is an AI. We can take regular use applications like Instagram. So basically, we feel like Instagram actually tracks us and our users regularly. If we are watching a dress in Flipkart or Meesho or any other shopping application, the next minute, if I'm opening Instagram, we will be getting the same dresses and similar dresses in the ads of the application. That's where these Attention Insight AI works off. So they predict what the user's attention is in that current time, what he is tracking in the other application, and he shows similar clothes or similar shopping items in the application which he uses for entertainment also. So that's where Attention Insight like AIs are used. So Runway ML, it generates creative visual images, videos, and backgrounds using AI. So creating visual images for an application is very important. An application must be a combination of colors, images, boxes, and everything together to look a better professional application. So Runway ML is such an AI application which helps us create visual images. And also we can see some applications using videos in their backgrounds or also GIF videos in their backgrounds. So these are all GIF things created by the AI. There is a problem in using images and videos in such tools because there can be copyright issues in using images and videos. So before using any images and videos to your application, please make sure that they are not copyrighted or it is not a copy. ChatGPT is a basically using application all in and all around. So it helps us in writing UX writing. Also user flow ideas, and it helps us generate micro copy of the user personas. User persona is basically an resume like thing which is written for a user of the application. So it will look like a resume where the user's image will be placed. It will take the user's information, his age and his need of using the application, and what is his necessary requirements of the application. For example, if I'm taking a fitness app, the user will be a regular gym goer. So there will be the user persona mentioned as if the person's image, regular gym user, and what he will be expecting from the application. For example, diets, his water drinking history, his step counters, and everything. So according to that user persona and many user personas together, we will be creating common applications. So Jasper.ai or Copy.ai, it creates user-friendly content for onboarding, helps messages and UI text. So as I say, UI is what a user looks in the application, and user text is also very, very important. And user text is the branding for an application. A user text must be very attractive to the user. Each and every user should be able to connect that UI text towards themselves. For example, in a shopping website, like a clothing websites, instead of using the stock in the town, we can choose in trend stocks, which helps the user easily believe that the stocks in the store are in trend. So the UI text which we are going to give in the application is very much needed, and it must be attractive towards the user. UI and UX designing is very, very important, as well as the testing phase of the UI and UX is also very, very important. Once the UI and UX designs are ready, the next crucial step is testing, because a design doesn't end only at the visuals of the application. Each and every visual of the application requires a validation also. Sometimes even small things like buttons or a reply message from the application side can create a big impact toward the user and their experience. Testing helps us catch those minor mistakes before the launch of the application. That's why we say user testing ensures the design as intended. While testing the application, all the UI research papers, UI designs, the rough sketch, the wireframes, all together are validated whether the final output application matches each and every single term of all the previous steps like wireframing, sketching, research papers, and everything. Even if a single element doesn't match, the designer has to correct the design, and then only the UI UX design will be approved. Like in software companies, like a project is going to be approved, the UI and UX design must also be approved by the team, and only then it will be sent to the front end developers, and then it will be converted into the coding journey. So as we know, when it comes to the coding journey, the SRS document will be given, and the coding of the application starts, and then the testing also starts. So this is for the coding phase, but also for the design phase, testing of the application gathers user feedback. It identifies the main pain points of the application. It improves the usability. So tools like A/B testing. A/B testing is nothing but alpha testing and beta testing. Alpha testing means alpha testing is done within a group of people of the company inside itself. Whereas beta testing is completely different from alpha testing, which is done by a group of users or outsiders, and then the feedbacks are got. Actually, beta testing is very much important in an application, because even if a drawing is done by us, for example, for us to see the drawing, it will be very beautiful at any point of time. But only an outsider can find faults in the drawing. So beta testing actually helps the testers identify the main problem of the application. And these testings often used to enhance the user journey. And along with the design testing, the user's journey of the application, the prototype, or the working of the applications, the navigation of each and every button is also tested by the testers. So this is the basic of UI and UX. So coming to career development of UI and UX, today UI and UX has been a growing technology where each and every company is specifically hiring a UI and UX designer. So companies like Google, Apple, Microsoft, Adobe, IBM, all these 5 companies actually hire separate UI designers and separate UX designers. So they have their specific jobs, and they do it in a high level paid income. Whereas other startup and product based companies and other companies like Infosys, TCS, Wipro, they hire a common person for both UI and UX designs, because they can't take in many people for UI and UX designs. So career opportunities for the growth in UI UX designs, the entry roles, you can enter the job as an UI and UX intern and a junior designer. And mid-level means having an experience of 2 to 3 years, where you can become an UX researcher, product designer, and senior roles can be UX lead and design manager. So as an UI and UX intern, you will have jobs basically like designing in Figma, creating wireframes, sketching for basic applications used within a community. And junior designer will be designing everything for the basic community. Whereas a mid-level person will be doing research works in the real time, and the product designers will be designing the products along with the senior teams. And senior roles for the options are UX lead and design manager. So as I said, UX research team will have a lead. For bigger applications like Instagram or Facebook, for the basic stage of developing the application, the initial stage, UX research will be needing many people for the work. So there, the seniors will be leading the UX researcher, where the mid-level people will be working as the research team on site. And design manager is the person who validates the design along with the wireframe, sketching, and the fidelities and everything. So senior level roles are for the persons who are experienced from 3 to 5 years. And there are many specialization categories which we can do it as our part-times also, like UX writers, interaction designers, and accessibility expert. So UX writer is the person who clearly explains the concept of the research. So doing research is a separate work, and writing a content for the research, what has been taken place, is a separate one. So it is basically content writing, but the content for the UX research, what has been conducting, it's to be written by the UX writers. An interaction designer is the person who designs the application's interaction. For example, if I'm clicking a login button, where the login button should navigate the user, where the logout button should be placed, and where it should navigate the users, and if the user is going to click the sign up button, where the sign up button should take the user. And the specializations of interaction does not alone come for the buttons, it also goes for the forms, tables, and the placeholders given for entering some content in, and everything. An accessibility expert is the person who checks the user's accessibility towards the application. So what an user of a basic application should see. There are two types of users for applications, like a normal user, basic user of the application, and an admin who is going to manage the application. So an admin should be able to see both the user side application and also the admin side. An admin should be able to manage the number of users and what the user mainly searches, and what, if it is an e-commerce website, what product is commonly bought in high levels and what product is not bought by many people. And the admin should know how to attract the users of each and every specialties. Freelancing, consulting, and entrepreneurship are also great career option towards UI and UX. So freelancing is a wide opportunity for college students. Especially there was a question, like a third year student was there and he wants to know what opportunities he can get. So if he's going to follow the roadmap for UI and UX, definitely he can try freelancing, and freelancing helps them earn during studying itself. And consulting of UI and UX and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is also a term which we are listening in our day-to-day life almost 3 to 4 times every day. And UI UX provides great opportunities for entrepreneurs also. So recruitment and salary details of the year 2024 and 25. So career development of UI UX, I can't speak it as it is. So I have got some insights from the year 2024 to 25. Who are the fourth years placed and who have been out of the colleges. So the entry level, the beginner level UI UX developers salary is 6 LPA to 8 LPA. So as I said, the beginner level, entry levels experience is 0 to 1 year. So you at the earlier stage, you will be able to earn 6 lakhs to 8 lakhs. And mid-level, whereas 3 to 5 years, you will be able to earn 12 lakhs per annum to 15 lakhs per annum. These salary insights are completely researched and these are being hired by this year. And senior level, who has 5+ years of experience, he gets 20 lakhs per annum to 25 lakhs per annum. So 20 lakhs per annum to 25 lakhs per annum for a 5 years of experience is greater salary than a senior software developer. So I've also given the companies which provide how many salary to the working UI UX developers. So Google basically provides UI UX developers 6 lakhs to 50 lakhs. So this 6 lakhs to 50 lakhs comes under the entry level, mid level, and senior level. And Amazon, which provides the UI UX developers 6 lakhs to 35 lakhs, and all these are per annum. Microsoft provides them 12 lakhs to 38 lakhs per annum, and Oracle provides 12 lakhs to 30 lakhs per annum for an UI UX developer. And TCS provides 6 lakhs to 20 lakhs per annum. So as I said, Google separately hires a UI designer, UX designer for their job opportunities. And Amazon also has separate job opportunities for UI and UX. But to be consistent in your job opportunity which you get, each and every UI and UX designer should be strong in both UI and UX, because if there is any need for the survival of the fittest, the one worth of surviving the industry will be the surviving one. So in India, so basically we are all in India, the specific recruitment estimate of the year 2024 to 2025 is approximately 45,000 to 60,000. So 45,000 to 60,000 UI and UX designers getting placed per year is not a smaller count. Global recruitment estimates all around the world, and especially the country hiring UI UX developers is US, which is approximately 2,80,000 to 3,50,000. And opportunities which you get abroad is highest paying for each and every person who gets work from India and moves to abroad. And coming along with the roadmap for UI and UX developer, so this is a basic roadmap which will train even a beginner from level 0. So let's take each and every step of this roadmap as level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 to level 12. So level 1, let it be learning the basics of UX design. And the main note of becoming a UI UX designer with this roadmap is that each and every step of this roadmap must be followed keenly and clearly. For example, you are going to learn the basics of UX design. You have to go as deep as you can in the UX design. You have to know what an UX designer does, what an UX researcher does, how the UX researcher researches and content, how the researched content is written. At least a basic knowledge of each and every step followed by an UX designer should be learned at the very basic level itself. And second level could be learning the basics of UI design. So the basics of UI design is nothing but color theory and text theory. As I said, color theory and text theory are the most important looks of an application. And third level can be information architecture and navigation. Information architecture and navigation is what? How the interaction between the application and its elements are going to be, and where the elements are to be placed is the navigation. And learning interaction design. So after the information about the architecture and the user requirements, the next step for us is to learn the interaction design. So while learning the interaction design, we have to be very clear about an element and its interaction towards how far it can react even in cases of failure. And next, level 5 is to learn UI tools and technologies. So UI tools, as I mentioned, there are several UI tools, and also technologies mentions about the AI tools used for UI and UX. UI tools along with AI tools makes it very easy for the beginners to learn and to work with. So learning HTML and CSS with a focus on UI. So we all learn UI and UX with a focus of UI. Focus of UI in the sense, just creating an HTML and CSS for the elements which we have created in the page is learning HTML and CSS with a focus on UI. And JavaScript, which is also UI focused. So JavaScript UI focused is nothing but how a button should react. So buttons are basic elements which is used in JavaScript. So JavaScript is a language which provides us easy to use UI applications and design patterns and usability of the application. So there are many design patterns, and before learning UI and UX, be clear with what are the design patterns available. And next is responsive web design. Responsive web designing is level 9 because all these level 8 is along with the application's basic creation, whereas the responsive web designing comes with the creating an application with its consistent towards the device used for the application. A responsive web designing is the term used where the application should module itself for the device which is going to be used. For example, if I'm using WhatsApp in my mobile and at the same time if I'm using WhatsApp in my PC, I can see two different UIs and the two different alignments of the application's elements according to the screen's width and the screen's size. So designing such applications is called responsive web designing. And UI and UX design collaboration. So UI and UX design collaboration is very much important because an UI is what an application looks and UX is what an application feels, and both together creates not only a beautiful application but also a user-friendly and useful application. And soft skills and design thinking, these are basic skills which we have to learn for the upliftment of the application which we are going to build. And after creating and learning all these roadmaps procedures, please make sure that you do small mini projects according to the levels of the roadmap. And as a whole, with all the mini projects done and its experience, please build yourself a strong portfolio, which is very, very important and which will show your ability as an UI and UX designer. So next, let me suggest you some project ideas to enhance your resume strength. So these project ideas will help you improve your resume strength as an UI and UX developer and helps you get hired faster. So first project idea is portfolio website. As I said, build a portfolio website with all transition effects. Make sure you create some animations in the application with whatever you learn. So most of your UI and UX talents is shown in the portfolio to the HRs who view it. Next project is a very exciting project, which is redesigning an existing application. So let's take a popular app or website and thinking of redesigning it. So if an application is be taken, find faults in that application and then correct that application's faults. If the application you're choosing does not have any fault in it, please try to create better features than the existing features. For example, there are many hotel booking websites like GoIbibo, Oyo and everything. But Airbnb is the application which is used in most of the places because Airbnb chose a main strategy for improving their UX users as they found fault in GoIbibo and Oyo. The main fault of Oyo and GoIbibo was while clicking a hotel's information, they do navigate to a separate web page, which also takes more data storage, which also slows down the operation of the application. So Airbnb mainly corrected this fault, redesigned it in their application. And in Airbnb, if you click an application, if I click an hotel or places information, it do not go to any other web page. It gives the information in the same web page. And also in Airbnb, there is an exciting feature, which is its unique map structure. In other applications, the map basically looks like a Google map, whereas in Airbnb, it looks completely different and it is more attractive compared to the other applications. And the last project, or maybe a greater level project, is a mobile app prototype development. So you will be having any applications ideas in your mind. So please develop that application's idea as an UI and user experience design, and please add it in your resume. So seeing that prototype, the HRs can easily compare you with the other ones who are applying for the job opportunity. And for more insights, please do contact me through LinkedIn. My LinkedIn profile will be joined along with the video recording, which will be going through the YouTube channel. So thank you for the great opportunity.
Thank you, Harshini. Now let me present the slide from my side. Thank you for sharing your knowledge about the real world practices that are existing with regards to UI and UX design, and also quoting the examples. Dear participants, now it is time to hear from the guest speaker about the questions that are registered posted during the registration process. So it's the Q&A time, and now our guest speaker is ready to answer the questions that we already received. And once these questions are answered, the participants can post your other queries. Harshini, you can start answering.
Yes, sir. So for the first question, can you use both Tamil and English languages? Of course, yes. It is going to be based on your application's preferences. So there is no specific languages in creating an application. There are many Tamil-based applications also which we are using in today's. And the second question is how UX research and empathy maps work in user interface concepts. So user research helps the users help the designers understand what the user really needs. It helps the researcher understand what are the pain points of the users. So basically an application is built when there is a pain point of creating an application. And they also help the researchers understand what are the users' requests to have the behaviors of the application. Whereas empathy maps are the ones which helps us visualize the tools to understand the user's mindset. In UI, they helps us not only create beautiful but also useful applications for the users. And the next question, in future, how will AI replace UI and UX developers? As I said in the presentation itself, AI cannot replace UI and UX developers because AI is used to improve the work of the UI and UX developer. It does not replace the creativity of the humans. So AI cannot replace the UI and UX developers role. So need more information about Figma, which is used to design. Figma is a tool, which is a cloud-based designing tool and prototyping tool. There is an exciting thing about Figma, which is Figma has an inbuilt plugin where we can convert the Figma's design to code within the Figma itself. So, but this tool is a bit paid one. So with that subscription, we can take the code, and Figma has many plugins along with it to help us work easily. And please mention future generation benefits from graduation onwards. So it is going to become a core subject in many streams. So like now AIML and robotics has become as a core subject in many colleges and universities. UI and UX will also become a core subject in the upcoming times. It is going to help even non-designers build visually building idea tools, and also Figma, User, Canva, etc. are all tools which help the non-designers easily build their ideas to applications. So please mention future, that is what I have said. And it also helps in building entrepreneurship and innovation among the future generation. So Figma and other designing tools will help the entrepreneur easily make the investors and the team understand the ideas visually. What are the things I should do for getting job? I am on my third year study. So yeah, I think I mentioned you in the session. So as you are a third year, I would suggest you to please follow the roadmap which I have given, and make sure you keep yourself focused and updated to the new technologies which are evolving day to day. Make sure you are in the current trends of the technology. So if you have to get a job in UI UX after your graduation, please try to take internships, as many as internships. You can try freelancing from your very starting stage of the fourth year also. So it will be helpful for you to get a job easily. So let me answer any live questions now.
Thank you, Harshini. Dear participants, now it's time to hear from you. If anybody has got queries, if you are comfortable, you can unmute and speak out. Otherwise, you can type the question in the chat room.
Sir, good evening, sir. This is Dr. Venkatesan,
Hello,
the
sir.
chairman of the chapter of Computer Society. I am very happy the students have themselves planned, executed on a subject which is the UI UX, very current topic, and a lot of people are needed in the UI UX space. Thank you, Arshini, for your presentation. It was good.
Thank you, sir.
I wanted all the students from different colleges to participate in the Computer Society and talk about the new topics. This could be the first trend setting. I congratulate the Marasan sir for organizing this. Thank you. Continue. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Harshini, I have a query. It is regarding professional ethics. I'm sure that the creative designers, they're expected to follow some professional ethics when they create an artifact. In the same way, does UI and UX design, has it got any ethical considerations to be taken care while creating the designs?
Yes, sir. So UI and UX, it has professional ethics. Like, it should be a honest application. It should not be an application disturbing any other's mindset. It should not be a biased application which it is going to create. And the design which it's creating for an application should also not be biased. And the user's privacy and the data protection during the UX research is a very big ethic. And the accessibility, inclusivity should also be considered as an ethics. And there should not be any dark patterns, and there should not be any designs which will affect the mentality of the users. And empathy and user-centered thinking is must in UI and UX. And whatever the impact is going to be created by the UI or the UX design, it should be completely taken responsibility by the UX designer.
Thank you. Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next segment. I think there are no further queries. So we'll move on to the next segment. Now I invite Mr. Vimalan, third BECAC student of KGISL Institute of Technology, Coimbatore, to propose vote of thanks. Mr. Vimalan.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. As we come to close for this enlightening sessions, it's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks. First, I thank Mrs. Harshini Purushothaman to take the time with us and share its insights. A sincere thanks from Office Barriers and then the people who are involving in the Computer Society of India and the Computer Chapter for continuous support. We also thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your participation, Harshini, and the esteemed chief guest. Last but not least, thanking for organizing team, the technical support members who work for these scenes, but they ensure everything runs smoothly. Thank you for once again. We look forward to meeting in the future sessions. Stay safe and stay inspired.
Thank you, Vimal. For your information, the Computer Society of India's Coimbatore chapter office has got a exclusive hall that can be utilized for official gatherings. For further details, the office manager can be contacted.